May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free from harm. May all beings love life. May all beings awaken. Welcome to another Cuke audio podcast. I'm DC, poohbah of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives. I pray that you and yours are safe and comfortable, free from economic hardship, and able to get out and do whatever it is you want within the limitations of the universal precept of do as little harm as possible. Today we'll have an episode of Life in Bali, and it's a good day to do it. I'll tell you why. Because today is the day before Nyepi. And part of Nyepi is the night before this Ogoh, where each neighborhood has their monster or plaster of Paris statue representation of some scary being. I think they're supposed to scare off the evil spirits coming. But anyway, they are accompanied in parades by neighborhood. They're built by their neighborhood. The young men in the neighborhood, or the older men, mainly I see younger men, and they'll be accompanied by a gamelan band, just neighborhood boys doing it. So what you heard in the introduction was a neighborhood gamelan band practicing. I mean, one of the guy hitting the drum was eating while he was playing it. But that's the sort of thing you hear when they're going by. And I'm going to put another clip of the same group, but doing something else later at the end of this. I'm just throwing this little announcement in, later. And you can hear it. It's raining pretty hard outside right now. It started raining right at the very end of the Ogoh, sort of parade. It was around in our neighborhood, and there were, I saw 3 different Ogoh from nearby neighborhoods going around here. They're keeping it small. They can't get a whole bunch of them together. But the 2 of these were made largely out of some sort of decorative paper and plaster of Paris. One of them had a lot of cloth on it. I don't know. They won't do too well with the rain. But they're not supposed to be used again anyway. I mean, the tradition was to burn them. And tomorrow, Cuke Archives will be shut. It will have no output. I have had it before. I just predated, but I don't think that's proper. Let me read you about Nyepi, Nyepi. So this is from Bali.com. Nyepi, the celebration for a new beginning, the biggest and most sacred annual event on the island of Bali. When is Nyepi in 2022? Thursday, March 3rd. The period of total silence on the island of the gods will be between Thursday, March 6th a.m. and Friday, March 4th, 6 a.m. Everyone needs to stay at home, shut the lights, remain quiet. Nobody is allowed to be outside. So here it says, Nyepi, the Balinese New Year's celebrations, the day of silence, unique in this world. Contrary to several other cultures all around the world who celebrate the New Year with dynamic and sparkling festivities, the crowning point of the Balinese New Year 6-day celebration is a day dedicated to complete silence, Nyepi. On the third day, the entire island comes to a standstill with no scheduled incoming or outgoing flights from Ngurai Airport in Denpasar, and everything closed. This day is called Nyepi, meaning to keep silent, and falls on the day after the dark moon of the spring equinox, when the day and night are of approximately equal duration. Is that right? Hotels are asked to cover their windows. All shops are closed. All. No light or candle will be lit in any Balinese home. That's not true. People cheat. But anyway, no cars on the road, no motorbikes, no people. It's indeed a unique experience, not only for the Balinese, but also for all the visitors and tourists that are on Bali during Nyepi Day. Not a lot of tourists here right now, but, because of COVID. If you are in Bali during Nyepi, make sure you do not plan any traveling or outside activities. That's true. Here we have good to know about Nyepi. Nyepi is the most important and sacred Hindu holiday on Bali and is a general public holiday in the rest of Indonesia. The famous Ogoh parades, where Balinese men and boys carry creatures of huge sizes through the streets, accompanied by noise and gamelan music, is happening on Nyepi Eve, the evening of the second day after New Year. Tourists and visitors are welcome to watch the parades, take pictures, and witness this unique spectacle. Some of these Ogohs are burnt after the parade. It used to be they all were. They went to a central location and were burned. There's many central locations. Each neighborhood has an Ogoh. That's the idea. This year, though, because what I'm reading here is not talking about this year. The Ogoh was canceled last year and the year before because of COVID. This year, it's being allowed, but only the neighborhoods can parade their Ogoh around. We're not having a meeting place for many neighborhoods. That's the cool thing, man. You go down. It's like a 20-minute walk from here to the beach, where they all gather, Mertasari Beach in Sanur, before COVID. And where we used to live, there was a gathering we could walk to from there for other neighborhoods. But the neighborhoods are pretty small, and some of the Ogoh are giant. And take none of them are moving on wheels. They're all carried by guys from the village, usually younger guys, on like palanquins or like bamboo, mainly bamboo, like on their shoulders. So I've seen them where there's like, I don't know, 10, 20 guys. Yeah, at least. I've seen that on some of the really big ones. And they're not all monsters. They can be any theme they want. I mean, there was a giant dog some neighborhood made with a big, erect red penis. And it was big. It was like 30 feet long. And there was a sort of dancing ghost that would dance around the penis and play with it. There's a lot of weird penis stuff I've seen in Asia, in Japan, and in Bali. Not a lot of penis stuff in Bali. A little bit. Japan really has penis stuff. They have penis festival in one town. And this woman, artist, tried to do art based on the vagina, and, she was like arrested and everything. You can't do vagina. You have to do penis. I don't know if she was arrested. She was banned. I mean, her art was not allowed. I don't know what's happened to her now because it became a big international deal. That was not that long ago. So it says, all right, look. All right, it says on the actual day of Nyepi, the entire island is closed. The roads are off limit to all types of motorized vehicles and people on foot. All grocery, the airport's closed. All grocery closed. Other types of shop are closed. Restaurants are closed. Yeah, everything's closed. Everything. The beach is prohibited. Yeah, you can't leave your home, so you don't need to say all that stuff. Anything other than being indoors is restricted. Well, no, you can go to the hospital. While indoors, the inhabitants must endure that all audio devices are turned down to a minimum volume as the day draws to an end and the sun sets. The curtains need to be pulled shut with minimum light being used in one's living quarter. Oh, we just don't have lights. We'll have a few, discreet candles. It's supposed to be a day for prayer and fasting and all that. And Katrinka and I meditate every day, so we love it. We love it. And it's real easy to keep our home dark, And, but, I'll be working. I don't have to go online. That's another thing he didn't say. They turned the Wi-Fi internets off. But I got plenty of work to do without that. And we'll watch, maybe a movie or two or something. It's fun. We love it. But listen, it's normal for people to cheat like that. That's what we do here. I'm not being like a bad Westerner. I'm being a normal person here. So if an airplane was to fly over Bali, the island would not be seen. That's true. To ensure that all the rules are obeyed, local guards known as Pechalang, Nyepi police, well, they're not just Nyepi police, they're local security all the time, are deployed all over the island. Nyepi parade. The evening before Nyepi Day, Balinese carry a large Ogoh through Bali streets. Already young kids follow the example of their followers. The statues are up to 25 feet tall and can be very heavy. With the help of a bamboo grid, yeah, that's a good way to say it, a large group of men carry the Ogoh, followed by Balinese gamelan musicians. Nyepi and Bali calendar. The start of, it says here, Chaka year. I see Saka year more. Balinese New Year is celebrated by the Hindus for 6 days, with the Ogoh parades after sunset and day 2 and Nyepi Day of Silence following on day 3. Listen, I never noticed that. I just noticed the day before Nyepi and Nyepi. And then the day after Nyepi, people will go to the ocean. A lot of them will come down to the beach. A lot of them at sunrise to purify, get in the water and purify. Not to go swimming or anything like that. They'll sit on the beach. Some of them might bury themselves in sand. And it says here, Nyepi is a day that the Hindu Balinese dedicate completely to connect more deeply with God. Hyang Widi Wasa. Well, let me tell you. All right, wait a minute. Through prayer, fasting, and meditation with an additional layer of introspection of the self to evaluate personal values such as love, truth, patience, kindness, and generosity. That's all good. But listen to this. For a Hindu, to connect more deeply with God. Why do you think it's worded that way? That's because there's a majority of Muslims here in Indonesia. Not here, but, you got a word thing. They always say here, yes, we have many gods, there's Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and this and that, but there is only one God. I can see it that way, The Hinduism I like doesn't deal in all that stuff anyway. It's Advaita Vedanta, which is more like Zen Hinduism. It deals with, Advaita means non-duality. So anyway, all that stuff's myth, and it doesn't matter. So I'm going to read you another piece that has a different approach to Nyepi. Alice sent it, our dear friend Alice. I don't see a signature. No. You shouldn't do that when you send something. You should know what does it come from. All right, but it doesn't matter. We'll just have to read it and see if we think it sounds good. What exactly is the purpose of Nyepi? Everything is done on this day to prevent humans from making any mark, any action or karma. Nyepi has indeed to be understood within the framework of Hindu religion, according to which the ultimate goal of humans is to interrupt the samsara cycle of reincarnation and merge into the cosmic void or sunya. This is called achieving moksha, the ultimate enlightenment. Yeah, this is more Hinduism, right? Incidentally, there is some Nyepi in India. I remember reading about it, but I can't remember how much. Where I think some particular places. Or maybe it's evolved into having another name. But anyway, I'm not going to try to figure that out now. Humans try to achieve the goal by controlling their actions, karma, and thus subduing their inner demons. Few, however, achieve moksha. Nyepi is a symbolic ritual replay of this Sunya endeavor at the level of the island. On this day, all signs of life are put to rest to create a feeling of restored purity, because after Nyepi, ordinary days succeed one after another, and with them, impurity accumulates for a whole yearly cycle until a full year later, on the eve of the next Nyepi, or a few days before, a big tawar ritual cleansing has to take place again. Tawar, T-A-W-U-R. There are four main rules of Nyepi called Chatur, Brata, Pinyepian. Chatur is 4. This is Balinese, incidentally. Brata means meditation, and Pinyepian literally means to be silent. Now that's Indonesian, Pinyepian. And maybe Brata sounds Sanskrit. Chatur sounds Balinese. I don't know. Let's see. Amati Gini, no fire and light. Amati Karya, no work. Amati Lelungan, no traveling. Amati Lelanguan, no entertainment. All right, now one thing I'm not reading in any of that is Nyepi. Listen, Balinese Hinduism is basically a cover for their animism, and the to me, and you know, I've had Balinese tell me Nyepi is we make the island dark because these spirits travel over the island, these evil spirits, looking to punish us for our bad deeds or something like that. And maybe they're not evil spirits. Japan has a thing just like that right before New Year's. Like they burn all the old stuff, so the god that comes, like one of the Shinto gods that comes to hold them accountable for their bad deeds. Everything's been burned. All the records are burned, so they can't hold them accountable. So maybe it's something like that. But what I've been told by Balinese is when the island, it's like right before New Year's, these spirits fly over Bali looking for those to hold accountable for their bad deeds or something like that, So the island goes dark, so they can't see anything, and they'll just miss it. They'll just fly right over it without realizing it's there and not realizing there's anybody below or anything. And let me tell you, that is the greatest thing about Nyepi, is going outside. And about half the time, there's a sky without much clouds. Maybe a third of the time, the sky is just covered in clouds, and it could be either way tonight. We were just at the beach. That's the first time I've been to the beach in a while because of, having COVID and just being a little weak. But I don't feel weak now. Wow, and it's been 3 weeks since I've been to the beach, and it's just like a 15-minute walk from here. But it was great, and there was on the beach. I can see a couple of 100 yards. There was Katrinka and me, and our dog. We could see two people way down. I think there were local people just sitting in the sand looking. There were a couple of people. Maybe I saw 4 people standing in the water. Uh, the tide was fairly low, so there are a lot of places where you could just stand and fish. But that was it. Like maybe 6 people in a couple of 100 yards. It was just quiet, and there was all the fishing boats were quiet, and a restaurant where we go to a lot, they're genius. They were just making sure everything was tucked away in case there's rain and all that. There wasn't anything open. And our house cleaner came on Wednesday. It's Wednesday as she normally does, but she left a couple hours early because she had stuff to do at home. We gave her a little extra money for Nyepi. And it's just neat. And now it's starting to get really quiet. And I got to walk down. Katrinka and I got to walk down. Yeah, in 14 minutes it'll be 6 p.m. And that's when we're supposed to gather down at the intersection down here. It's a 3-minute walk from here. Stand there and wait for the Ogoh. Actually, what we'll do is I'll walk down there, and when I see they're coming, or it might just be one thing, since it's just our neighborhood, I think. Or maybe they'll do a few neighborhoods go by. We'll see. I don't know. Just go stand there and wait and give Katrinka a call when it looks like they're coming. Because, like I said, it's really a 3-minute walk to the corner down there. All right. Well, that's it. That's the report on Nyepi. We really love it. We love it's maybe we're sort of playing Nyepi, but we meditate every day. So there's a little more meditation on Nyepi, and it's so cool. Everything's quiet, and the stars at night, if there's no clouds, they are amazing. It's like being in the mountains in Colorado. It's wonderful, wonderful. And the air, so clean and nice. Just no sound coming from this city. It's just so great. And we live on the edge of the big city. It's not real noisy. Uh-oh, there's the noise, Bondi. And the Penchalong do ride around. Not a lot, but a couple of times, 2-3 times a night, you'll hear them going by, looking. There was a neighbor who didn't live in the house. Our neighbors on both sides, they didn't live there. We finally had some neighbors move in next door. They're very quiet, though. They're nice, very nice. Danish guy and his Indonesian wife. But for the first 4 years, we had the people on both sides just came for a couple of weeks, a couple of times a year. It was like they're, coming to their senior homes. They go to the beach and stuff. One was a Danish family that lived in Jakarta. The other was a Japanese man and his Australian wife, and they live in Sydney, or I'm not sure. I think Sydney. So the people on one side had an automatic light that came on, and it really pissed me off. It really wasn't that bad. It was very little, but the Penchalong came and they wanted to deal with it. So I called out and told them who the landlord was and where they could get hold of. I mean, they should know. They know who the landlord is. They know who owns everything. But I said, Wayan might have keys. He's right down here on the corner. Anyway, so that's it. That's a neat thing about living in Bali, and it happens all over the island. To different, in different ways. Okay. So this has been a Cuke audio podcast. I'm DC, poohbah of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives. coming to you from Sleepy Senor with Doggy Bandita, Feline Cuchita, and dear lovely Katrinka. And we're wishing you and yours and all of us a grand awakening.